What is up, YouTube? This is Chase Bristow, the Gay Nomad. Um, Before I begin with today's video, I would like to remind everybody that I have 3 to 6 months to host Saturday Night Live, or at least get approved to host Saturday Night Live. And I would also like any kind of help or assistance with getting a Desperate Housewives convention together. My mission is to inspire people to follow their dreams. And when I'm hosting Saturday Night Live, hopefully raising a little money to donate to charity. One that has to do with autism awareness or a homeless shelter. Because when any kind of money revenue that I get from hosting Saturday Night Live, I've decided to donate half to a homeless shelter, half to autism awareness. And hell, maybe I'll throw in donating to cancer research. So I can inspire people to follow their dreams and help people along the way in a lot of ways by doing this. That being said, let's get into it. My topic for today is my personal revenge stories. So grab yourself some cheesecake, some tea, a cigarette. It's going to be a good one. First revenge story that I have. One time I was hooking up with this one guy who I had an amazing time with. He left my father dropped him off at his recovery house. This was when Craigslist was a thing, by the way. And what happened was he was a recovering meth addict, and yes, I did dabble at the time with him. But after he got dropped off, somebody picked him up and was messaging me on Grindr or something and wanting to have a threesome, and then blocked me after I found out who he was with. And then I found out that this guy was behind a lot of prank calls that he made. So he'd been prank calling me for several months. And then when I found out it was him, I contacted him with an unlisted number, star 167, him, to find out who it was. And then he told me not to go to the Horseshoe Casino, where I would go every Thursday, because somebody had invited him there for a date, and I also invited him there. But he refused my date, and he told me not to come there when it was karaoke night. So I told him, don't worry about it. He's going to be too tired to go there. I went on Craigslist and posted an ad with his address promoting an orgy, and you needed to get a password. The password to get in was, does Scott have any ice? And for those of you who don't know, ice is code for crystal meth. So people were banging on the door of his recovery house all night long with their drugs, looking for Scott and saying the password, which inevitably got him thrown to the streets. Second revenge story. I was couch surfing with this one guy. No, I was couch surfing and I stayed at this guy's house in Georgia. I think it's a video on one of my other channels, part of it, but I'll tell you all the juicy beats. Parts that I left out for explicit reasons, because some things are not meant for YouTube. But I will tell you what I did. So this guy was bragging about this beautiful sequin fedora that belonged to his dead husband that he had on a mannequin head. He was living in a house that smelled like a dog kennel. It was disgusting. And he would yell at me for being on my phone when he was in public talking to all his friends and wanting me to socialize, when he knew damn right well I was an introvert and shy. So when we got to his house one day, he told me to clean up after his dog. He found a dog turd on the floor. And he kept bitching me out because I wasn't cleaning it up. So we got into an argument, but then he wanted to go take me to karaoke, and I told him go by yourself. So when he left, I got on Grindr and talked to this really cute twink who later that night picked me up. But before he did, I did some things around the house that he would come home to and not be so thrilled about. 1, I took laxative and put it in his juice. 2, I put the laxatives in his dog's food dishes. 3, he had a sex room with a drawer that had a dresser that had multiple drawers, and one of them had DVDs, one of them had toys, and the other one was empty. And the sex room smelled like clean linens. It was the only clean smelling room in the house. So I took a nice hearty shit in one of the drawers. And then, to add insult to injury, I took the hat off the mannequin head and wore it to the amusement park, purposely wearing it on a roller coaster so it would blow away. And the third one, which is the most amazing, just recently, I was staying in the shelter, and I went out to meet this guy who called the shelter pretending to be my boss and got me a free night out. And when he did, he got drunk and told me how to wear my hair, told me how to wear a hat, told me how I should dress, how I should laugh, and how I should hold my posture and walk. And I addressed the issue later on the next day after he went to Mexico for a funeral for his aunt. And he apologized profusely, and I gave him the benefit of the doubt. And then I went to sleep and took a long nap, woke up, and got into a squabble with some of the people at the homeless shelter because of some false accusations they were making about me over probably homophobia and jealousy, just wanting to see me get thrown out. So I left, and I contacted him because he was texting me, and I told him I didn't want to waste my battery texting him. So he told me his house sitter canceled, and I went to house sit for him. And he came back. He was pleasant because he was sober. The next day, he picks up. He and I decided to go to karaoke. So he comes home with 2 bottles of wine, drinks one, starts getting a little controlling, a little narcissistic, telling me how to wear my hair for karaoke. I had a scarf on, told me not to wear it, and I borrowed this jacket from him. Isn't it nice? And I'll stand up and do a stand on it. Anyway, so he we were sitting at the bus stop waiting for the bus to go to karaoke, and some homeless guy or a neighbor, probably just somebody, not even a homeless guy, not even a neighbor, walks up and insists that he knows me from somewhere. Then this guy who thinks we're on a date invited the homeless guy to walk along with us. I sped up and he bitched me out for walking ahead of him, saying, "Oh, he 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 was looking out for your safety. He was looking out for your safety. Why did you leave though? I was feeling unsafe. You needed to be with me. I was feeling unsafe. But he was looking out for your safety," contradicting the hell out of himself. So, when we got the karaoke, I flat out ignored the shit out of him. He kissed me. I didn't kiss back. I pulled back. He lifted me up by the collar of my shirt and tried to pull my chair over to his table, and I refused to budge. Then he got into the owner's face, yelling at him, got into the KJ's face, yelling at him, got into the bartender's face, yelling at her. And then as we were leaving, he grabbed some woman's purse, threw all of her stuff in the street, and then he bitched me out for a 30-minute walk back to his apartment, and I had to go there. I didn't have anywhere else to go. I was no longer welcome in the shelter. I had been out of the shelter for over a week. So I stayed there, and then he and I wanted to watch this movie. He got me interested in it, but then he put his hand in my pants, and I left. I grabbed my shoes, grabbed his jacket since it had all my stuff in the pockets, and as he was bitching me out after insisting that we sit on the floor because he took my shoes, these boots off that I had, I told him I'm not sitting on the floor, I'll sit on the couch, and he starts bitching at me, and I just go in the bathroom, put my shoes on, go behind the couch, grab my phone charger, put it in the pocket, it was the only thing I needed to pocket, and walked out the door with his best leather jacket. Didn't stop there, I went to the extreme though. I went to a mental hospital. I went to the hospital and said I was suicidal just so I could talk to a police officer and tell him what happened. Now he's got warrants out for his arrest. Did I stop there? No, I wasn't satisfied. Hell no. So not especially after I spent $65 on groceries that's sitting in his refrigerator right now and in his cabinets, and left all my clothes there. No, I wasn't going to trade all that for just a leather jacket and a warrant for his arrest. Fuck that. I'm going to go deeper. So, I called the bar while I was out in the parking lot of the hospital before I went in and told them where he lives. I gave his number out, gave his name out, and said that if the woman looks for her purse, she knows where to find him. And then I went in, I made sure there were warrants out for his arrest. And then when I got out, after I made a lot of friends there, I got out and I got put in an agency. I got sent here, but before I got sent here, I left an email as soon as I got out. I looked up his place of business and left an email with his employer. So now his employer knows what's going on, and he's planning on doing an intervention with him, and all his coworkers know about it, and all his friends know about it, and they're going to do an intervention. And he's a loose cannon, so, And this woman's pressing charges, I'm pressing charges. And he is about to lose his job. He already lost his reputation. And I am about to get an apartment. I got a really nice jacket. I am living in a tiny house until I get the apartment. And life is good for me, and it's shitting the fuck on him. So, yeah. Those are my 3 top revenge stories. But I'll be sure to do more revenge stories if this gets a lot of views. So, until then, remember, if you can't find me over the nearest bowl of food, Find me underneath the nearest man. If you can't find me there, find my ass on YouTube. Bitch, slap that subscribe button if you would, and click on the notification thingy. And of course, you should like this, and share the hell out of it, because I want to be passed around, the slut that I am. The gist, if you can't find me under the nearest bowl, no, if you can't find me hovering over the nearest bowl of food, find me under the nearest man. If you can't find me there, find me on YouTube. Like, share, subscribe, and follow your dreams.